Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. So recently I have a lot more time than normal. I finished secondary school and start college in just over a month. So I took that as an opportunity to kind of rekindle my love for reading. So here are 5 books I recommend you read when you have the time. You ready? Let's begin.
Yeah, I've been feeling so
So the first book is called Beautiful Broken Things and it's written by Sarah Bernard. Now, when I tell you I cried when reading this book, I cried, like full on tears streaming down my face. So this one is revolved around a friendship, specifically female friendship. There's 2 best friends, one called Caddy and one called Rosie. Caddy is waiting for something exciting and exhilarating to happen in life, and Rosie is quite a confident, quite a popular girl already at her school. A new girl called Suzanne joins Rosie's school and all 3 of them eventually become best friends. Caddy soon realises that Suzanne's childhood was quite traumatic. It was filled with domestic abuse, self-harm, mental health, and she soon realises that Suzanne has quite a rebellious side in order to cope with her past trauma. Caddy finds that as an opportunity to kind of have something adventurous happen in life. Caddy and Suzanne start to go on little adventures and journeys together. One thing leads to another and it spirals out of control. And I think this is just a very interesting book in the sense of it shows you how complex and powerful female friendship can be. It also shows you how different people cope with different things, like how Suzanne coped with her trauma and how other people are trying to help each other, and sometimes it just doesn't work. Definitely cried, and it's just parts of it was quite sad, but yeah, I really love this book and I highly recommend it. Number 2 is called Goodbye Perfect, also written by Sarah Bernard. Now, when I tell you the plot of this book is crazy, it is insane. This book is also evolved around friendship and also how the most perfect person and the most put together person still has flaws within themselves. They just hide it a lot more easily. 2 best friends, one called Bonnie and one called Eden. Bonnie is a perfect straight A student. She is very academically smart. Eden's the complete opposite. She's like a below average student, but both of them are equally best friends and always have been. And a couple of days before their GCSE, Bonnie runs away with a boy. Now, when I tell you, when I found out who this boy was, I was in complete shock. I did not expect it to happen. It was definitely a plot twist. I'm not going to say who the boy is, but let's just say it is not necessarily a legal relationship. And so she told nobody, not even Eden. Eden's there trying to figure out where Bonnie is exactly, whilst doing her GCSEs, whilst kind of wondering if she knows who the actual Bonnie is that she knew before. And it's just very interesting in the sense of how much this girl will sacrifice in order to keep her friend safe as much as possible. It's a very interesting book, very interesting plot line, and it definitely had my head in a spin, I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, I definitely recommend this one. Number 3 is called A Quiet Kind of Thunder and it's also written by Sarah Bernard. I promise you this is the last Sarah Bernard book I have. I've been really liking her books recently. This one's more based on a relationship instead of a friendship. There's a main girl called Steffi and she, from a young age, was a selective mute, which means she only chose when and when not to speak, and she only spoke to her closest friends and a couple of family members, and other than that she did not speak whatsoever. As she grew up, as she got older, she got diagnosed with severe anxiety, and then a new boy goes to a school called Reese, and Reese is deaf. So they already had this communication going on because Steffi knows a little bit of British Sign Language, and so they kind of had this communication going on. Pretend leads into a friendship, pretend leads into a relationship. Really interesting to see how a non-hearing and a hearing couple kind of communicate and adapt and live with each other and grow with each other in their everyday lives. It's also really interesting to see how the families and teachers and classmates and closest friends react to this relationship. And I think the main thing I concluded from this book is it's okay, and sometimes it is necessary to step out of your comfort zone, especially in a desperate situation. It is like a teenage romance book, but it isn't too soppy. Yeah, I really do like this one as well. Okay, so book number 4 is a little bit different. Normally I stick to young adult books because it's more relatable. This one's actually a crime book. So it's called Private Games and it's written by James Patterson. And James Patterson is well known for writing quite thrilling crime books. This one is based in the London Olympics back in 2012, and one of the main organisers of the London Olympics got murdered, and the detectives there trying to figure out who did it and why. Now, what I really like about this book is it shows you different perspectives and point of view of the crime, from the criminal's point of view to the detective point of view to the detective's co-worker's point of view, and also by the time the criminal has told you their background story and kind of slowly told you the intricate plan ever so slowly and hintedly throughout the chapters, the detectives are really there trying to piece it together, and it's just very satisfying to almost visually see it align with one another. Also, I really like how it focuses on the main detective, who's a single dad, and he has, I think, 2, possibly 3, but I'm pretty sure it's 2 young chaotic children to look after at the same time. It's interesting to see the balance between a quite an intensive, long, draining work profession to, you know, coming home, look after quite young chaotic children. And at some point it does intertwine with one another. Don't really read much crime books, but this one's a really good one and I really recommend this one because it gets your mind thinking, it gets your brain thinking, and there's loads of plot twists. I really like this one. This book, which I recently finished, is called Things a Bright Girl Can Do by Sally Nichols, and it's set in 1914 in London, and it's during the suffragette movement and also the start of World War One. So 3 main girls in the book. There's a girl called Evelyn, and she had to go to uni like her brothers did. Her parents won't let her because she's a girl. Then there's a girl called May, and her mother's already a suffragette, and she's always been preaching about suffragettes and women's rights and girls' rights at a very young age. And there's a girl called Now, quite a gritty, determined, hard-working character. So these girls all come from different backgrounds, and one thing they have in common is that they're very passionate about girls' rights and women's rights, and just changing the way that society perceives women and girls at that time. Also really interesting to see how much these girls will sacrifice in order to have a voice and to have a vote for women. World War One does play quite a huge factor in sense of how women and girls coped when the men went off to war. There's also an LGBTQ+ relationship in here as well, which is very interesting in that time period, how that been played out. Very beautifully written. Obviously most people don't like reading, which is fine. By all means, that's perfectly fine. I definitely do love reading. I think it's just a chance to just kind of escape for reality for a little bit and just be in your own little world. You can read up about different things as well. But yeah, don't worry, next week's video is going to be completely different from this. It's going to be like, I guess, my normal content of like fashion and lifestyle, but I thought I'd just switch it up this week. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe and turn on your post notifications. I try to post every Tuesday, however I did miss last week, but every now and again I need a little break, you know, I don't want to burn out too quickly. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in next week's video. Bye.